A little while ago, quite a while ago, I said I was going to share some of the things that I did to help myself in my healing journey and in my health journey. It's been a very long 3 years, and I am so close to becoming who I was and am, and whoever I will be next. But I'd like to share with you some of those things because the 3 years was excruciating pain and suffering, and it was incredibly difficult to stay on top, to stay alive, to stay inspirational and inspired. I can totally understand how hard it is for people in chronic sickness now, having gone through it myself. So I really want to share what I did to help myself. Okay. A few years ago, when my surgery happened, and I ended up with a complete imbalance in my brain because of my hormonal changes, having my ovary removed and having my adrenals also crashing over and over meant that my brain and my cognitive function was severely depleted. I also was really depleted in testosterone. So at the beginning of me getting back up after all the things I'd gone through, one of the first things I started was actually Toastmasters. Toastmasters helped me to get back into feeling like myself again, as far as being through so much anxiety and medical anxiety and so much medical trauma. It had been a very long time since I spoke in front of people. My body had been flooded with anxiety for so long and survival, like I just needed to get through every day, that the idea of coming back out and speaking in front of people again was just, I couldn't even bear that. So I began Toastmasters because it helped me to try and track my memory. At first, I couldn't bring words and sentences back into my mind. Every time I thought about trying to translate or express something, it could not connect between what I was feeling and thinking and trying to express. Toastmasters gave me a way that I could put it all down on paper, and I began doing my speeches, and every time I would do the speech, over a few months, I realized the progress in my memory. And so at first, I couldn't remember 30 seconds of my speech, and I kept practicing and practicing, but the cognitive function was so bad that it just wasn't happening. And over a few months of doing that, I began remembering. Yes, just being able to remember was amazing to get through a couple of minutes of what I had written down. I then went on and I began creating these courses for online courses and delivering eventually for my app. And when I began doing that, my health was, again, still in such a cognitive stuck place. So I started with scripts, and honestly, I hated it. I hated using the script because all of these things were flooding through me around my own incapacity and the fact that I could not recall words anymore, and descriptive words and adjectives and And so relying on those scripts was a way to help me slowly unlock vocabulary again. So I started doing that. And the first course that I created was a free one. And that free one, that was the second one. But that second one that I created, the free one, was actually a very huge tool in my health journey. Because here I am creating these courses for other people, but it was also helping me healing my mind, my basic spiritual activities that I used to do every day, and I couldn't quite bond with them anymore. So creating those courses helped me get back to me in the spirit realm, and especially the free course, which was releasing limiting beliefs. When I created releasing limiting beliefs, the first thing that I faced in that space was the limiting belief that I couldn't access my vocabulary anymore. What I did was I went into that journey with the intent to go and look at that block. I thought, maybe it's me here. Maybe it's me that I've created this story pretty strongly out of all the health trauma that I've been through, that I've gotten stuck. When I did the course myself, while I created it, I met with the limiting belief, and lo and behold, it wasn't so much a limiting belief, but what I got shown from my soul and my body and my mind was that I could no longer access those places, because while I was going through massive and major medical events, my body and my mind had decided, you don't need this. It said you don't need to think about writing poetry anymore and how to speak tongue and language. It said, we really need to survive, and we really need to keep your adrenals going, and we need to keep this going, and we need to go. We need to survive. And so what happened was my body and my subconscious protected that part of me. It didn't get lost. It got sealed up inside a box so that I could just keep breathing. So after that, I started to blossom again. After that, I started speaking clearly. I unlocked it. I took away the survival instincts that were no longer needed, but they were still there. So that was another thing that I did. Now, at the beginning of this year, I could only recall 2 to 3 numbers. And thanks to learning how to make my own app and trying to figure out all of this different logic, I can remember 6 now. So I have my memory back. But on top of all of that, I also added in a lot of natural stuff. I'm a homeopath. I'm a classical homeopath. I had help from others and self-prescribed. And I also, at different times through my journey, had used dietary input and some herbal use. Ashwagandha for me was one of the most powerful for bringing that inflammation down, especially around the cycles and losing those hormonal stability. It really helped to just even that out, especially my testosterone. So having my testosterone go from a very high level to crashed, it took over 1.5 years for the ovary that was left behind to actually come back to life and to take over the job for the other one. So I took the homeopathic remedies for testosterone, and after taking those, my energy started to come back again, and everything started getting into an equilibrium. So overall, those are some of the things that I did, and honestly, right now, if I look back to a year ago, I can't really remember it. I know that I wasn't healthy and I wasn't well, and I only began changing really after I did the Releasing Limiting Beliefs course that I created. So through the process of trying to create something that I could help others with, one thing that I was met with during that process was perfectionism, right? Because here I am putting myself and my energy into work that healthy, energetic, normal Eve would have looked back in and said, don't share that. I was so judgmental of where I was at. And now I go back and I look at those videos and I'm like, wow. I can see and I can remember how unwell I felt and how stuck my brain was, and that cognitive function hadn't opened up yet. But at the same time, that perfectionism and take away sickness, take away any of that stuff and apply this into different realms. Now, if you step into something waiting waiting to step into something when you're 100%, when you're getting perfection, which is a nasty habit of mine. I expect the best, right? I'm a high achiever and nothing but that. But I had to do it, otherwise I wasn't going to create the pockets of growth and healing and evolution and learning. I learned so many different things. So what I want to say is, like, don't stop yourself from doing something just because you're not where you want to be. Right? You'll get there. And where you are right now, where you are here, is exactly where you need to be. I don't know that I can say I've had fun, but I'm starting to. And that's a little bit around what I've done for myself in my healing journey over the past 11 months to 12 months. And I'm really glad that I did, because I can definitely say I'm a lot healthier, a lot more consistent again. And in a few weeks' time, I'm going to have a surgery, which means that I will be able to be physically active again. So I can't wait. I'm so happy to finally get to that space and to also be able to show up here. Yeah. Okay. So, long time coming, but those are the things that I've done for my health and my journey. So maybe there is something in there that you could pick up for yourself. I well and truly invite you to use my course, Releasing Limiting Beliefs. It's a beautiful, transformational space. Just leave a comment and we can talk about it. Toastmasters, honestly, I think everybody should just try something. Try something new. It was something I'd always wanted to do. Finally did it. Wasn't quite matching my expectation of what I wanted, but it was perfect for what I needed. And that was low pressure. It was community based. So, if you've got any questions, and if you'd like a homeopath, I'm a homeopath, hit me up, send me a message, and maybe I can help prescribe for you if you need anything for your tinana, your body, and mind and emotions and everything else. Okay, that's a long one. I'll see you soon. Bye.